Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for April 24th through the 30th, 2017. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to connect in with the guidance of your angels and the messages that are flowing from your own heart and its purpose. So, what I'm really getting a sense from the angels is that they want you to really connect in this week with your heart's purpose. The angels are assisting you in channeling that love, channeling that information, and that sometimes you may feel like you get sort of amped up on, I get this sense of right now feeling really amped, and your energy, maybe there's a sense of, it could be, get it, frustration. It's like something builds up to a point, and it just gets really intense. And they, sometimes you feel like you worry, you feel you have a lot of anxieties, or you get really frustrated, or you sort of feel like you get tied up in a knot and you don't know what to do next. And actually, what the angels are showing me right now is that this is the time for you to recognize that you need some rest. Okay, is the word I'm hearing. It's like some R&R. Also, you need to retrieve within, to sort of go into that oasis of your spirit, to reconnect. It's when it's a sign that there's an imbalance, and I know this is clear to anyone, but sometimes it's not that clear in the moment, because what we end up doing is we keep trying to hammer away at that energy, or we keep trying to manage it. We keep trying to operate with it. And the reason that it's uncomfortable is because it's not something that you can make any effective changes happen with this sort of obstacle of energy floating throughout. So they keep writing the word body, and they've written the word bed, and they're saying that you really need to give your body, your physical body needs time to rest. And so you've been ignoring this, and you keep trying to push through. And they keep writing the word safe as if you were worried about some kind of change, or you're worried about some deadlines, or getting something done. And you keep focused on the fact, oh, I got to get this done, I got to get this done, and you keep ignoring your body. And this is an important step in any process where you're trying to make something, trying to make a decision, especially an important one in your life that they're writing, or you're trying to make a change in a new direction. You need to honor your body. You need to nurture yourself, and so that you can have all the energy. See, your spirit is willing, but the body, and you need to. This is the thing that we keep neglecting our body and every part of our process, whatever it is that we're trying to manifest and materialize. We keep forgetting the body. The body is the vehicle for the spirit, and if the spirit doesn't take care of its body, the one that's doing all the running around and transportation. Okay, think of your body as your transportation. You've got to, if it needs oil, if it needs gas, if it needs a tune up, if it needs a little cleansing, in order to keep up with you, it's a representation of your energy, your spiritual energy, and your spiritual energy is without ever any it's always gassed up, let's just say it that way, and ready to go. But your physical body needs time to catch up. It needs to be maintained in order to keep up with you. And so if you feel like you're dragging, like your body's dragging, it's because your energy's moving faster, and you're not giving your body any of the nourishment that it needs to keep up with it. So this is why diet and exercise, things like water, things like sleep, things like relaxation or having fun. This is why things like joyful experiences or taking in the time, making the time rather to be aware of the little small things in life that give you pleasure. This is why all this is so crucial to your dreams blossoming, is the literal words they're writing here. And again, they're writing taking time to laugh or creating opportunities to laugh or going out and having a good time where you can have a good laugh, loving relationships and loving experiences, you know, even going about things in a loving way, applying wisdom. These are things that they're showing me right now. Applying wisdom, operating under the intuitive guidance of your inner being. Because, see, your inner being, your spirit actually isn't leaving your body behind. It's not forgetting that to take care of your body. Here is where the problem is. It's the disconnect, the you, the one who's supposed to be stay in that observer mode, where if you're noticing, you'll be noticing the intuitive guidance coming from spirit and your own and what your body is needing. And your spirit will give you the impulses to take care of the body, will encourage you to do things. So when you think, I gotta, that's not spirit talking to you. That's ego. That's ego. And that's a grave mistake, to always be more concerned about the outer physical experience from a perspective of fear, which is what they're writing, or lack, which lack is the foundation for fear, believe it or not. This is what the angels have really helped me to understand. Lack is the belief of lack is what motivates fear. It's the food that your ego feeds off of your dreams. So it's sort of like, you know, I guess I don't know why this is coming up, but like healthy fat and unhealthy fat, and you know, in your mind, if I can categorize some of our motivations as could be sort of healthy and unhealthy fats, and when the ego does is that it takes that something like that motivates you, and it turns it into an unhealthy fat by twisting it into an idea of lack. So you may have this dream right now. Let's just call that a healthy fat, and it has fuel, right? The fat, provides fuel for this dream, and I know this is terrible to say this way, but let's just have fun with it. And so it gives you this fuel, and it's this thing that your heart desires. So the fat is there to help to feed that dream everything it needs. You can just chomp off of that. The dream can chomp off of it all of what it needs. But then when your motive gets twisted, and maybe for a moment something isn't happening, and you start to worry, and you think you've done something wrong, when now maybe you need to just relax or refresh, or look at things in a different way, or open up to another possibility. And now the ego is going lack, and now you become afraid, and you start pushing, and you stop listening. You're no longer noticing what's going on, and this turns into an unhealthy kind of quote unquote fat. Okay, so this is what they're trying to get across right now. You have to always be an observer. So if you are feeling frustrated, then you need to go back to noticing what's happening, noticing all the pieces, and let what you notice sort of guides you, because that's how your intuition can kind of start to unclog and start to feed you again, nourish you, your 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 soul again. So they want you to really avoid ignoring your physical body and its needs. And some of this has to do because this card is showing me the cross again, and this puts you right back up on that cross when you ignore the body. You know, it's like you start to suffer, you start to feel pain physically, you start to experience symptoms physically. The thing is that what I'm getting right now is that your body needs support. Your body needs a lot of support. And some of you are ignoring things like exercise or change in diet. That resistance is creating a block in you being able to receive the nourishment that your soul can offer your dreams, so that your dreams are surrounded by the healthy fat, meaning healthy energy. So I'm going to change that into energy now, the word fat, and so that it has healthy energy around it at all times. Now, they're writing out the word cash, and they were indicating to me before in meditation this word cash. And I'm assuming that there's a need for some kind of financial support. And they're giving me this sense right now, as they rate the word soap, that you need to clear up your energy. And because the energy, and I don't like to get into things like this negative and dark. I'm not going there, but because this is just energy that's unhealthy. It's the best way to put it. Okay, so it's coming not because you've done something wrong, or that you're bad, or that you attract evil. This is not it at all. This is never it. I don't really believe in that concept. I know there are people talking about it, but I don't. But what I believe that they're saying is that the energy has become unhealthy because you've just stopped listening. You see, you stopped listening to your own guidance, and your guidance right now is needing you to take care of your body, which will take care of the other things, your emotions, your mental health, and align you with that abundance of spiritual health that is always going to remain intact no matter where you what decisions you make that sometimes are not healthy for you because they're just not the right choice for you. Okay, so the thing is that when we collect what people call this negative energies, what I'm getting from them right now, it's unhealthy because it's not the right energy for you. It's just not a part of your truth. And that we have this sort of contrast in order to help us to know where we should always be, you know, what's the right path versus what's not the right path for us. And that's the variation in energy. As soon as you align yourself, no matter, you could be standing in the middle of the most horrific thing, and I know this may be an exaggeration, but it's to make the point that if you're acting on your purpose within that most horrific thing, your energy will light up as healthy, where you could be in the most terrific thing in the world. And this is also to make a point, but there may be some truth to this. And and if you are not making the best choice for you, or not on the path for you in that moment, or serving your purpose in that moment, you would feel this unhealthy energy, which some people call evil, blah, 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 blah. Um, I really caution people to get away from this kind of thinking of good and evil. It's really not healthy, and it's not being um, it's not being it's not it's not denial. Okay, I don't have the time to go into that right now, but I've just been through this whole thing, as I got to this point, especially in the beginning, and I was afraid of things like this, and I sometimes, but very rarely, get people talking to me about things like this, about, oh, there's darkness around them. don't get caught up into that stuff. As soon as I put that out of my mind, I stopped having those experiences. And when I stopped believing in that and focusing on what is real, and what is real is the love of God. Everything else is not real. And therefore, our fears are motivated, as you can see, by you know, is by this idea of lack. If you want to call something evil, that would be it. If you want to call something negative, that would be about the extent of it. If you want to call something unhealthy, that would be about the extent of it. So let go of the idea of wanting in the sense that it feels like lack, and that usually comes from future focus, and then put all your attention into the present and start appreciating what you do have, and acknowledging all the gifts and everything that is right in your present, because then your present moment will become saturated with this gratitude that you give so freely to the future that doesn't even exist for you now. You need all of that prosperity in the present. Don't save it up for the future and then live like a pauper, in your present moment, meaning you feel like your life is dull, it's uninteresting, you're always seeing how things are going wrong, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I could go on and on. But this is something that's big that's come up for me personally, as they were showing me, and I've been trying to share this through the daily card messages and readings here, and would love to have more time to go into it, because it's just a really profound thing when we realize that we keep saturating our futures, and then when we look at the present, it looks dull. So this is the root. This is the only quote unquote evil that exists around us, is our own perception of the world, that and about our present awareness versus our future awareness, where everybody's always trying to get to the future, everybody's always wanting their life to be better, and that idea is the idea of lack. So let's take a look and see what messages are coming through for the weekly message. And I'm going to start with the Archangel Oracle card, which is sort of our theme for the week. And the card is leadership. So I don't know why I feel like I'm hearing this, but it feels like, they're kind of laughing, because all of this that we get our minds stuck on, all these frustrations and worries, is because we're afraid of actually living our futures. So we create this wanting, and when we create this idea of always wanting something, like where we are right now is never good enough, then we create this energy of wanting. So the universe says this is what they're offering. They're offering the idea of wanting. So they always give you a wanting without the realization of it, because in your wanting is the fear of it actually happening, and hence this card, leadership. See, you are wanting someone else to take care of you. You're wanting money or wanting things to satisfy you. You're wanting things to fill those gaps. And there's nothing wrong with wanting any of those things. Or let's put it this way, there's nothing wrong with having them. What's wrong is that you feel that you need them. And in order to create this distraction, so it's sort of masking the truth, which is, you sense that you're being called to stand behind a purpose and to serve that purpose and to lead that purpose by being very clear. And as long as you have some illusion that you are nursing, then none of this can be true. So that is to say, the having of what you want cannot be true, as well as getting on the horse and serving that purpose. And so this is very, very important that you understand that now Instead of thinking about what you want, not, okay, let's say you want to be a doctor or a spiritual teacher or anything, doesn't even matter the example. But instead of always putting so much emphasis on when I get there, so what you're saying is you can't be happy until you materialize that. So in the present, and you're unfulfilled. You think just because you don't have the document that says that you are this or the certification, that there's nothing that you can do along in the present to start realizing that dream now, even if it's just a piece or aspect of it, that piece or that aspect of it cannot give you the fulfillment that you are seeking, because you believe that the fulfillment is specifically that one outcome, when you would be fulfilled because any piece of it that connects you to your goal is, every piece of it is fulfilling. So start on the pieces at this stage that are available to you and serve. Do you know what I mean? Get up on that horse and serve. Run with it. So this is how we can stop denying ourselves what we ask for, is by taking any piece of what it is that of that service and begin, because it is not the entire all or nothing outcome that is going to fulfill you and put you on your purpose, and that will also allow your heart to radiate the blessings and gifts of the divine through you, that channel, that feeling of love, that exhilaration that you feel. It's all the pieces that make the whole. So you can serve any piece. So, if you've had this idea that you want to save the world, big general, big piece, and maybe it involves a community project, but in your head you see yourself standing there, and maybe it's a book. I saw that, and you're, well, start with any piece. Start with any piece. Get in the community. If there's a piece in the community where you can start, but it's not at that level, start there, because that piece has the same, and I want to use this word, germ, same initiative, same frequency, same energy, same platform. It just looks different on the outside, but the kernel on the inside is the exact same explosive potential, and it is in no way less in its vitality. It is no way less in its blessings and abundance. It's this whole idea that things may look like they're different sizes, the physical, but it's the energy in all physical interactions is the same potency. It's the same intense dynamic that the universe, every part of the universe, the manifested physical part of the universe possesses. Not one aspect of it, and they're writing this word out, is eclipsed because of how it appeared in its physical manifestation. Not one of them is eclipsed in its divinity. So if you start where you are right now, and you take the piece that is available to you right now, I guarantee you, once you give yourself to it without looking at the outer layer of it, but always sort of, I want to say it this way, drinking from the cord, sipping from the nectar of the situation, you will feel the same intensity of success, of joy, of pleasure, of fulfillment. It's all there. And this is when you learn to sip from the nectar, oh, we've really gone over, of every physical appearance and you go to the spiritual core, then you realize that life cannot lack or be boring or unfulfilling ever. And then you found the secret to always being tapped in to the present that becomes so saturated that your future can't help but to be even more than what is now. All right. Wow. Really powerful. So let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And I know we've gone on quite a bit, but I think it was worth it. It was worth it for me. And that's the kind of thing I mean, like, well, I can't go more, but even doing this work here, the writing, everything, this for me, the pieces that it's just big. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And we had this card in the middle of the week. And when this card came up, it was very interesting because he's standing in front of the path. So this is like a fork in the road where you would have to make a decision. But it looks like he's already chosen. And it looks like he's chosen the one that doesn't seem like the healthy decision. But the thing that we got about this card was that just that example before, you know, you may not be able to see everything. There may not be a lot of clarity here. The looks may be deceiving, but if you feel called to this path, even in spite of how it all appears, then this is what you have to trust. You have to trust that down the road that things are going to get better. So the feeling I'm getting is that there's something that you've been working on, and something you're doing, and and maybe there's an opportunity coming up for you, and you're doubting this opportunity because all of a sudden things aren't looking the way you were expecting them to. But and they're writing that you're going to be safe. Okay, they're writing cachet as if there's some things stored up here, and you may not be able to see it right now. So don't jump to don't draw conclusions, or don't become suspicious so early. So this is really about, this card is used about, suspicious behavior, but it's never about suspicious behavior outside of us. It starts inside. We have to perceive that something has to shift, right? That unhealthy fat, that lack comes in the midst of our dreams, our goals, and attaches itself. So you have to not allow that to happen. And if you felt called to this, you made that decision, know that you're on the right path, but you're going to have to change how you're looking at things, and go back and look within yourself. Okay. And Archangel Michael is letting you know that he's standing here with you, and that Archangel Michael is the archangel that represents integrity. So even though you may feel like, one looks, this one, like you're seeing things in black and white, or light and darkness, or good and evil, Archangel Michael is letting you know that integrity is the only thing that God has ever created. And so therefore you have to trust your own heart, because that's the only integrity that you can use to measure any situation, not its outer appearances. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. And now we have the King of Michael again. So this is about someone, the King of Michael is someone who's not an emotional person. It's all about logic and rational thinking here. And so I get a sense that in this case, you may need to sort of be aware of being a little too emotional. And one of the things they were showing me is, I think it's more about being judgmental. All right, because they were sort of showing me a burlesque, um, dancer, and at the beginning when I was tuning in, and what that gives me a sense of judging, and judging things, and it's my symbol for emotional too. So I don't have time to explain it, but it's just that what I'm getting this sense is that you're making judgments that aren't rational. Okay, you're making judgments um, on platforms that are sort of irrational, and so they want you to pay attention to your own truth here. Um, I'm not getting anything else about this card in terms of some of the other things, but it says wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity. So, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. So, here's the thing whatever it is that you're on, get the facts, meaning have open conversations. Don't sit back and let things kind of, you know, twirl around in your head. Um, really, really put those questions out there, seek the answers, look into things, research. Just don't sit there and get caught up in emotional judgments and start these creating these scenarios that aren't real because they're not based in any fact and then get yourself all frustrated and out of sorts. There's certain things where you need to seek out help. If you're having financial problems, you need to seek out um, financial advisor or what can I think of an accountant. You're having legal problems, you go to a lawyer. You're having serious health problems, you go to the doctor. You know, don't just sit back and go, oh, don't play doctor. Oh, like, oh, I have this bump on my skin, maybe it's cancer. Don't do stuff like that. Go get the facts. You're delaying your own happiness. This is the way we want to put it, because whatever the outcome is, you'll know. If you don't have it, then you didn't have to waste time being frustrated and upset for no reason. And if you find out something that's not healthy, then you will know at least that you're in the right place getting the services that you need, the treatments that are available. All right? So just be aware of this. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And we have the Queen of Ariel. And so now we have two court cards here, and from two very different perspectives. So here we have the Queen of Ariel, which represents, I think of her as she's definitely the nurturer. And it's also about nurturing your talents, right? Your gifts. And she's someone who expresses those gifts by nurturing her gifts. She expresses them in order to nurture them. She doesn't hold them back. She turns her ideas into creative solutions. She creates beautiful things around her. She, just doesn't let those skills, whatever she touches turns into something beautiful. And you have to recognize that you have this gift. You have this gift to turn things into beautiful, extraordinary situations and events. And so instead of worrying, then express yourself. Instead of, blocking yourself, because that's what I kind of see going on here at the beginning of the week, where there's a potential for you to sort of get in your own way. And why would you get in your own way? Going back to this card, leadership. Okay, you're finding ways, because when you're overly analytical and you're thinking too much about stepping out on your mission in life and following the guidance, you start over analyzing it. You start getting suspicious. You start doubting yourself. You start questioning your integrity. You start questioning the integrity of others. Is what you do. That's what happens when you are. It's a stall tactic for you not getting on your purpose. So this week, don't make this about everybody else. They're showing me the word delay again. Don't come out. Don't look for excuses. First of all, don't look for excuses, and don't look for other people to blame, so that you can get caught up in all of that and not do what you're supposed to be doing, not going after that peace, not tapping into that peace. and getting started on that piece and nurturing your creative talents and your gifts, your role of leadership. But somehow by the end of the week, this is a positive because you will somehow be inspired to do that, or find some practical ways to get going on this. All right, is what I'm kind of hearing. All right, let's take a look at the card already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this card represents the Four of Gabriel, the Four of Wands. So this card represents an opportunity for four represents stability. The card says time for celebration, abundant rewards for hard work, release yourself from burdensome situations. So something in general is breaking for you. Something, some opportunity, something that you've worked for is going to sort of come together. All right. And as the card says, you got to just let go of those details, and focus on the main event. Okay. Focus on, like, at this couple. Focus here. You see a couple here. The emotional, or the celebration of the love. Focus on the main thing, your main goal. Okay. And then let those details flock to you. They will flock to you if you are aligning and reconnecting with your inner spiritual goals. And that's what I'm really feeling about this card. Instead of focusing on lack, which is where you kind of are, focus on what you love. That's your spiritual goal, is to focus on what you love. And when you focus on what you love, then you begin to nurture that healthy energy around your dreams. All right? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. I thank you all for joining us here. If you have not done so, do two things. Like the video and subscribe so that you'll be aware of when other videos and other things are coming out. Also, love reading everyone's comments. You're so gracious and sharing your thoughts in the week. And that's really, I enjoy sharing in your own accomplishments or your own realizations, because I have a lot of them too. And it's like when they happen to me, and I just love telling somebody about it. And so I get that for those of you who share your comments here on YouTube. Also, thank you for likewise joining us on Facebook for the daily card messages. If you haven't done so yet, if you haven't gone there, I am not just saying it because I do it, but I'm saying it because of what I get out of it personally myself. And those daily card messages really feed me. The peace that of divinity for me is in doing that. I get that peace that I was trying to explain to you, and it's how I keep myself always fulfilling my role, is doing these daily card messages and these videos, because that I get that connection in there. And so if you haven't been there yet, please do. And you can find a description link for this below this video in the description box for our Twitter account and the Facebook page. If you'd like an angel reading, and you feel called, and that a connection or this resonates with you, and you're wanting to work on something, then you can go to my website at theangelschool.com on the services page, which you can find that link below as well, and sign up for the reading that fits you and what you need. So have a week of incredible abundance, and allow your heart to express its love. Focus on your heart. It's like a vessel, and it is always receiving. It's never empty, but it's always receiving, and it never runs over. So you don't need to, there's plenty in there for you to channel and express. There's no reason for lack. So let that go. Until next week, God bless you all. Angel blessings.